We got the car actually at Pomona Swap Meet back in '96. Straight out of a farm, full of bullet holes. It was about a 4-year project, my dad and I. We've got a few other projects we've done, but this one is definitely our favorite.
Cameron's brought this really cool 55 Chevy. We've got some really nice hardware here from Fast. They provided us with an easy EFI kit, and this is their newest system. It's called Easy Fuel, and basically they allow you to convert a carbureted car like this to electronic fuel injection very simply. And instead of having professional mechanics install it, the two of us are basically going to put it on the car today, right in front of your eyes. Fast offers this system with a couple of different options. There's the base kit with a throttle body injection, there's master kits with either an inline or an in-tank fuel pump setup, and there's also a setup for multi-point fuel injection. Now we're going to be doing the throttle body setup with an inline pump for simplicity. So what size carburetor was on here before?
650.
Well, that's one of the really nice things about going to a throttle body EFI system like this is, like with a carburetor, getting that size right is crucial to making it drivable. Because EFI handles all that automatically. You don't have to get that perfect. It'll handle a wide range of different displacements and horsepower levels. Fast tells us that this new generation of throttle body will support 650 horsepower naturally aspirated. You're not making that quite that much.
No, not that much.
But so this will be more than sufficient for the airflow needs of this engine. And it's also got like all the sensors built into it with the exception of the O2 sensor and a coolant temperature sensor. Everything else is built into this. And our throttle body is just going to drop in place of the carburetor. We're reusing the linkages we had on the carburetor here. Now I'm going to put this additional throttle return spring on here. So now we've got real positive throttle return, so we don't have to worry about that sticking open. Just trying to draw this down evenly so we get a nice good seal on the carb without flexing the base of the throttle body. So have you decided where you want to put the ECU?
Yeah, I think I'm going to mount it right down here where it's out of the way, but you can still get to it if need be.
Well, that's good because it's got an indicator light on the front there for helping to troubleshoot it and make sure that everything's hooked up right. That's also a good place because that's completely weather sealed, so we could put it inside the car, we could put it in the engine bay, as long as it's away from sources of heat and things like that. It can really go just about anywhere. Yeah, and we're going to have to run our positive and negative back to the battery connection in the back of the car in the trunk there, so we've got clean power for this. That's really important for any EFI system, is making sure that you've got an excellent ground and battery power connection directly to the battery terminal. You think you found a spot over there where you want to put the fuel pressure regulator?
This would be the perfect location here. Still easy to get to and easy to read.
Well, now that I made you do all the filthy work and drill holes in your dad's beautiful car, I'm going to send you off because I know you got some other stuff to do, but I'm going to finish up the installation and I guess you'll get to see the car for the first time again with the new system running on it.
Great. Thanks, Paul. I'm really excited to see how this thing's going to run. Like I said, 15 years, having the same carburetor. It's going to be nice to finally have something like this, more efficient, and it looks good too. You still kind of keep that nostalgic look of having the carburetor on there, which I like.
I think you're going to be super happy with it. So go do what you need to do, and I'm going to finish this up.
Thanks, Paul.
Now, Fast has master kits with both an inline pump like the one we're using and also an in-tank pump. Now, preferably you'd go with an in-tank because it's going to run cooler and quieter. But in our case, we chose the inline because it's going to be a little bit easier to install. We don't have to drop the tank or get a new tank that's already been modified for EFI. I'm just about to install the oxygen sensor. Now here's an important tip if you're doing this yourself. If you're not going to be able to weld the bung in yourself, be sure and get it done by a professional shop before you start any of this installation. Now they provide the bung and a plug to seal it with, so you can get that done plenty ahead of time and it won't make a difference. You just take out the plug and install the oxygen sensor once you get to that point in the installation. Now, it's critical, and I can't stress this enough, critical to make sure that your exhaust system is completely sealed. You don't want any slip fit collectors, you don't want any leaks, you don't want, if you see any soot at any joints or anything like that, get that taken care of before you try and do this EFI conversion, because if you have any leaks in the system, the oxygen sensor is not going to get good data and you're going to have a heck of a time trying to get it to tune itself. Why am I in the trunk? Well, Cameron's got his battery back here and the instructions are very clear. that we have to connect main power and main ground directly to the battery. Now we had to extend the harness a little bit with some heavy gauge automotive wire to do that. Now why do they want this? Well, it's to help prevent interference. The harness itself is very streamlined and it's got fuse protection for everything. And the ECU has also been hardened for protection against electrical interference. This is just added insurance to make sure that we're getting clean power and not having any glitches. You don't need a laptop to install or program the Fast Easy Fuel system. It all happens on this little touchscreen full-color display. And there's a windshield mount that it just clips into. And then I've got the wire that comes from the ECU that we brought forward through the firewall, and it just clips together. And now I think we're just about ready to fire this up and do our setup wizard and get the engine running. So we've got 8 cylinders, engine cubic inch, it's at 383. And now we're going to calibrate the TPS sensor. There's 4 different standard dash displays. It shows you that our O2 sensor is working, that we're in learning mode right now. It's showing us our air-fuel ratio, our coolant temperature, and RPM. And as you can see, there's a bunch of different layouts here, showing our target air-fuel ratio and our actual. And then there's a master display that shows all the data that the ECU is taking a look at. You ready to see how it turned out?
You bet, I can't wait.
Let's go for a drive. Now, one of the things you're going to want to do is, as you start to drive it around, you want to put it under different load conditions, you know, part throttle, full throttle, that sort of thing, so it can fill out its map and learn everything that it needs to know to run properly throughout the entire RPM range.
And then once it sets itself, that's not something that does every time you drive it. It sets itself, then
It's doing it continuously, actually. When you're driving it day to day, it'll still be learning, but it'll be very close to its target all the time because it's already got all that basic information on the map filled out. It's fun installing stuff and turning wrenches and that sort of thing, but the real point of this hobby is being able to get out there and enjoy your car and be able to drive it. Well, it's been really satisfying taking this beautiful classic and making it even more fun to drive every day for you and your dad with Fast's Easy Fuel EFI system.